In today's video, I'm going to break down the home buying process step by step. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time, welcome. I am Laurina Saunders, and I break down real estate to help you make informed decisions. So if you have not already taken a look at this video where I talk about 5 things you should be doing before you start the home buying process, go ahead and take a look at that video after you watch this video. So starting with the home buying process, the first thing you actually want to do is do a self-assessment. You want to say to yourself, will I be committed throughout this process? Am I going to be readily available for this process, whether it's for the lender, for the realtor, or to be able to go even see homes? So if the answer is yes, and let's go ahead and get right into it. You want to go ahead and find a realtor. So you want someone who is familiar with the area, who's worked in the area in which you are looking to purchase a home. You also want to make sure that that person is compatible with you. You want to make sure you all are on the same wavelength and kind of thinking pattern. You also want to make sure that they are available and accessible. If the realtor only can show homes on weekend and you are only available to view homes during a weekday, you may want to take that into consideration. So you want to make sure that their schedule mirrors yours, not exact, but mirrors. The next step is to do research on lenders. And so there are a few types of lenders. You have your big bank lenders like Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America. Then you have your smaller banks like your community banks, your regional banks. Then you have your credit unions. And then you also have brokers that focus on mortgage, so mortgage brokers as well. Each one has a slightly different business model, and so you want to make sure that you research that so that you can select the best path for you. The other part of the research is that you want to start looking at rates. What are some of the rate trends that are out there? Now, rates change on a daily, so don't hold that with too much weight, but you want it to be general so that way you kind of know what rates are out there and what you should expect. The other thing when you're researching lenders is you want to see their availability. Do they work weekends? What are their office hours? Are they accessible? Will you have access to the lender, or will you have to go through someone else? And you may never speak with the lender until a few days before closing. You want to make sure that you understand the level of interaction you can expect from the lender. The other thing is you want to check out the loan programs. Of course, you have your standards, USDA, VA, FHA, conventional, but you also want to see if they have any specialty. Sometimes lenders have loans that are dedicated based off your profession, like a medical profession. And so you want to make sure that based off of your situation and what you have going on, that they have a loan that supports you. Also, not all lenders have down payment assistance programs. And so you want to make sure that if that's something that you're looking for, that particular lender has down payment assistance programs that you are going to be eligible for. In the state of Georgia, Georgia Dream is a well-known, it's probably the largest down payment assistance program. And not all lenders are eligible with Georgia Dream. They have certain requirements that they have to have met in order to be a Georgia Dream eligible lender. And so you want to make sure if you plan on utilizing Georgia Dream, you simply look on their website or ask the question, are you Georgia Dream eligible? And then once you have narrowed down the lenders, you want to take your top 2 to 3 lenders and go and get pre-approved. Now, you want to do this very quickly. You don't want too much time in between the lenders pre-approving you because if you wait too much time, you can occur multiple hits on your credit score, because when they do pre-approve you, when they take you through that process, it is a hard hit on your credit report. But if you do it between 10 to 15 days, you'll be fine. So get those 2 to 3 pre-approvals within 10 to 15 days, and it will most likely only be one hit on your credit report. And so you won't have to necessarily worry about those multiple hits. Once you have those 2 to 3 pre-approvals, you're able to compare. You'll be able to see what rates they're going to offer you, which loan product they will offer you, which will then you can see if it's a difference in the down payment percentage that you would need. You will also be able to see your buying power. Not all lenders are made the same. And so with one lender, you may have more buying power than the others. So you want to be able to compare that. Next step, once you've selected which lender you would like to go through for your mortgage, we will start home shopping. And so once you have found the home for you, we'll put an offer in on the home. And once we have put the offer in on the home and it has been accepted, there are certain things that are time sensitive. And so we would track the time. I would track the time. I will let you know what the time is to make sure that we are going to meet those. And so we want to go ahead during that time period. There's a time frame for the earnest money. And so earnest money is typically about 1% of the sales price. And the earnest money is either held by the buyer broker or the listing broker, or sometimes the attorney. So whoever's holding that, we want to get that to them in the time frame that was agreed upon. You also want to make sure that you're ordering your home inspection, any other inspection like septic tank or pool inspection, depending on the property. You also want to make sure that we are getting the necessary documentations and information to the lender. And so the lender can then order the appraisal. Then after that, we want to make sure that if you decide to proceed with the home, that we move forward, or if you decide that this home is not for you based off the home inspection or the appraisal reports, then we cancel the home. Everything is fine and we're moving on to the next step. Then the lender is going to finalize the package and submit it through underwriting. Once the file has been through underwriting and we are clear to close, then it is sent from the lender to the closing attorney. The closing attorney will then contact you as the buyer within 3 days prior to closing. Will provide you with a ALTA statement. They will also inform you as a buyer on what directions you need to take in order for you to be able to wire the funds for closing. And once that happens, we will then go ahead before closing day and do a final walkthrough. We want to make sure that anything that we negotiated during the offer stage and the due diligence period is addressed and done to your liking. So once we go through the property, if everything is great, then we are set to close. If not, then we go back and we ask for those things to be addressed before closing. Final walkthrough is something simple. However, it is very important. I remember working with a client and we went for our final walkthrough, and there was a storm that happened a few days prior and the above ground pool had collapsed. Now the home was vacant, so the seller wasn't there. They were on vacation actually, so they had no idea. And so when we saw that, we called them and said, hey, the pool, above ground pool has collapsed. of course, they had to address that before we were able to close. But that's the importance of the final walkthrough. You just want to make sure that before you sign your name on the dotted line and the property is transferred over into your name as the buyer, that everything is as it should be. And so after you do your final walkthrough, it's time to close. Now, it is recommended that you bring your driver's license and your checkbook. So typically you've already wired the money, but every now and then some numbers may be off a little bit. And so they don't take cash at the closing table. So you would want to be able to write the check so that way you can close. At the closing table, you sign all the paperwork. Everyone gets a copy of the executed paperwork. And then you get your keys, and congratulations on your new home. And so that is the process, step by step, on how to purchase a home. So in the next video, I am going to take a deeper dive and explain what is due diligence. All right. Until next time, have a great day.